guys. I hope all of y'all are well. It's Tuesday when I'm starting this vlog because yesterday I was not feeling my best and I didn't vlog. So this was originally going to be a 24-hour reading challenge, but I've already forgotten to time some of my reading today. So it's not going to be that. We're just going to do a regular old vlog because I'm not going to have the same amount of time that I have in usual vlogs. So we're not doing a 24-hour reading challenge this month, but I do want to go over my TBR with y'all. I have such a mess in life in general, so like right there, I feel like we can film right there. Yeah, since as I said, I did not feel well yesterday, so I didn't clean my room like I usually do on Mondays, and I will clean my bathroom later today, but that's not the same. Y'all don't see my bathroom in my videos. But my short story essay collection, it's an essay collection that I'm reading right now, is Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitt. This is my first Eve Babbitt's book. I don't know if this is her like first published work or not, but I've heard great things, and I mean goals, like her whole life just seems like goals to me because she was like a muse and basically Daisy Jones. I don't know if Taylor Jenkins Reid took any inspo from Eve Babbitt's to write Daisy Jones, but let me tell y'all. So journalist, party girl, bookworm, artist, muse. By the time she had hit 30, Eve Babbitt had played all of these roles. Immortalized as the nude beauty facing down Duchamp as one of Ed Rushka's 5 1965 girlfriends, Babbitt's first book, showed her to be a razor-sharp writer with tales of her own. Eve's Hollywood is an album of vivid snapshots of Southern California's hot bohemians, of outrageously beautiful high school and I don't know that word, and inevitably tattooed chicanas, of rock stars sleeping it off at the Chateau Marmont. And though Babbitt's prose might appear careening, she's in control as she takes us on a ride through an LA of perpetual delight, from a joint serving the perfect taquito to the corner of La Brea and Sunset, where we make eye contact with the roller skating hooker, to the Watts Tower. This daughter of the wasteland is here to show us that her city is no wasteland at all, but a glowing landscape of swaying fruit trees and blooming bougainvillea, buffeted by earthquakes and the Santa Ana winds, and every bit as seductive as she is. Okay, reading that just places you in Los Angeles. That museum, you know, with all the light poles, I've never been there. I've driven by it. That's like what I was picturing, like that area of LA. And the introduction in this is so well written. So Holly Brubach, I have looked up, and she has like 3 books, but I'm like, I need to read them. So I read the first story in that today. And then I am still reading Winter of the World by Ken Follett, book 2 of the Century Trilogy. So this is just following basically ordinary people throughout the Second World War, and it started at the lead up to that. This starts in the 1930s, I think 1932, and I don't know when it's going to go till I'm in like 1945, 44, or late 1944 right now. And then we have my mood read that is also a historical, and it's The Everlasting by Katie Simpson Smith. We are following several timelines in this one, but this little book is spanning 2,000 years. So from a supremely talented author comes this brilliant and inventive novel set in Rome in 4 different centuries, exploring love in all its various incarnations and pondering the elemental questions of good and evil, obedience and free will, and that connect 4 unforgettable lives. So one of them is an early Christian child martyr, a medieval monk on crypt duty in a church, a Medici princess of Moorish descent, and a contemporary field biologist conducting an illicit affair. And then my ebook is still A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon. This is about a family. This is the 6th book in the Outlander series, but about a family in North Carolina in the days leading up to the American Revolution. In my last vlog, I talked about buying clothes that I don't need. Yeah, so I do have an Abercrombie package that I ordered forever ago, and I tell y'all, my cat, he opened some for me. And so Fred, he's in here, he was like, it's time for you to open this package. So that is what we are doing first thing. think this is a bikini top. I don't know. Again, I buy all this stuff on sale. That's just, especially for stores like Abercrombie that are kind of expensive, I go to the sale section. Okay, where is like the opening thing? There's tape everywhere. So yes, this is a bikini top. I like the ones like that are in this style, like that middle part. So I think I bought this in 2 different sizes just to see which fits better. This is an extra small, which I think might be too small for me. Yeah, that's a thing. If you are, okay, I'm gonna say probably all throughout your life, that size is going to constantly be changing depending on your hormones. So it's always like, this time of the month I can fit into this size, this time of the month I can fit in this size, and that's something that can be so annoying. So yes, I did buy the same top in a double X small. Why would I do that? I am not that small. Obviously, return these ones that aren't the size that I want. Okay, this seems like, so yeah, so here's the extra small, which I think is going to be definitely too small for me, and I will return. But what else do we have in here? We have a sweater that's like short sleeves. Oh, it's so thick and nice. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. This, and it's such good quality. But I mean, you can put a shirt under this. I wear them on top of dresses sometimes. I love short sleeve sweaters, and I only had one that is from Cider. So from a Chinese sweatshop, which I mean, this is probably from China as well. Made in China. But it's so much better quality. Just so thick and nice. And do we have anything else in here? We do. We have some shorts, it looks like. Yeah, I ordered all this in February 24th. I did that. Okay, so these are the shorts, and I think these would even go well with the sweater I just showed y'all. They look like, if there's a politically correct term for this, and I don't know it, let me know, but like China, like y'all know, like China, you know, like China plates. I think that's what this looks like, but I think these could be paired together. Like those colors, oh my gosh, UCLA. No, but I'm saying like yellow and blue. They don't go together on the color wheel. Yellow goes with purple and blue goes with orange, but I think those are such close colors that you can make it work. So I got these in extra small. We're gonna hope that is the right size because I'm used to just buying pants in like numerical sizes. So, I do have a pretty, my waist is a lot big. No. My hips are a lot bigger than my waist. So I have like over 10 inch difference. So, that can be awkward sometimes with finding pants. So hopefully these work. Oh my gosh, I want to wear these together so bad. Look at that. Look. I can't do that right now. It's like 87 degrees, but hopefully one day we can do that. And right now, to tell y'all, it's 1:43, so it's like a long time, over an hour till I go outside to read. But I did want to just get the vlog started, and I need to go water my plants. Crazy hair, but I really don't care, and I did not mean to rhyme. I am so tired, and this book plays a part into me being tired. I'm here to give y'all an update on the Everlasting by Katie Simpson Smith. I love this cover though. I don't know if y'all can tell how this is like more matte and then the red is glossy. I think that's super cool. So I wanted to give y'all an update on this book. Characters, they're fine. I feel no strong feelings towards them whatsoever. So I don't love them. I don't hate them. I'm going to give the characters I don't know if I said I'm a quarter of the way into this, actually over a third of the way, but I'm going to give the characters a 3-star because I do think they're very unique, and they're just so random. Who's like, we're going to write about a child martyr, a monk, a Medici princess, a Moorish descent. Y'all know I love the Medici, and I've read a ton about them, and I never knew about this woman, Julia, and then a contemporary field biologist. such a random cast of characters, so I do think that's very, as I said, unique, but I'm just not feeling a strong connection to them. Atmosphere, I'm giving, do I want to give it a 4 or a 5? I think I'm going to give it a 4 because I feel like if it was a 5, I wouldn't be thinking of giving it something less. I love it. It's Rome, and I've never been to Rome personally, but if I ever go there, I think I will just cry the whole time because I will be so amazed. Look at my lovely flower lady. This is more Greek, but I will just be screaming. And I said flower, but she's a plant. But I would just love to go to Rome and see in Rome in all these different eras, because each of those stories I told you about are all in different eras. Writing is where this is really bad. I am starting to skim now that I am over a quarter of the way into the book. This is so overwritten where I'm like, what is the author even trying to say? I have to go back and reread. So I do think this would be one to pick up the audiobook for if you're thinking of picking up The Everlasting. But the writing just has me so exhausted reading it. And look how short this book is. It's less than 400 pages, but I am exhausted by the writing. And then plot. I love the plot. There are so many great themes of how love is different for everybody, how it means something different to everybody, how it can look different to different people, and then how everything on this planet, everything in this universe is all connected, even if it is just in the simplest way. That is just something that amazes me so much. It's probably the thing in life that amazes me the most. I just find that extremely fascinating, and that is what this book is about. So it is about like my favorite thing ever, that history is a mindfuck, to put it bluntly, that everything is connected. And I think, and I've always associated it with the Italian peninsula, which, as I said, this book takes place in Rome, because so much history happened there. And I do think that's really where West and East meet, East and West, I should say, meet, because the Roman Empire for one, but it's just such a melting pot. And I think especially at the earlier times, like the Roman Empire times, that very much was. And I'm loving that we're having a Dark Ages setting. The one I read today was about the monk in the crypt, and that takes place in the 800s. And I'm really fascinated by Rome after the collapse of the Roman Empire, but before the Renaissance or the Dark Ages. So that's why I was like, I don't want to skim, but this is just too much for me. I'm like, I really want to know more about this setting, but it's just too much and wearing me out. So that's my complaint with this. I am a character girly, I'm a writing girly, so if those things are not up to par, I'm not gonna love it. But this plot is amazing, but everything else not so much. So if you know other books with similar plots, let me know. Look at that. Okay, so it is Wednesday. I am still in yesterday's clothes. I am going out later, so I will change then, but let me adjust the camera to where I like having that as my background. But I'm bored. I don't know if I said it's Wednesday. Yeah. So I got this basket that I made an Easter basket for my dad, and when I bought this basket, I thought it was a little tiny basket that it's not even an Easter basket, it's just like a decorative basket, but I thought it was a little one because I was like, he can just put whatever in it. No, it's a ginormous like tote. It's probably 2 feet across, I would say. Not 2 feet. What do you call that? Like a ruler. So like 24 inches. Is that feet? No, I don't think that's a foot. Is it? Yeah, that is a foot. I'm not good at math, so yeah, sorry. I lost my train of thought there. So I have that, and I have it next to my mood reading basket right now, so I think I'm just going to make it another mood reading basket, because I do have a lot of books on the floor, because y'all know I've been looking for those milk crates but just have not been able to find any in my city. I know I can make one, but I am not handy, and I don't trust myself with a hammer and nails. No, we would end up like Jesus. So I think I'm just going to use that basket as another TBR basket. Also, I've watched several unhauls recently, and I've never thought about looking at my shelves of my books that I've read and unhauling some of those books, because there definitely are some where maybe I tried the second book and I enjoyed the first book in the series, tried the second book and was like, maybe it's not for me, so I should probably unhaul the first book in the series. And then some that were like YA fantasy I read right when I was starting my channel, and I just don't see myself continuing the series at this point. I don't know, because a lot with this is my red shelf right behind y'all. This shelf, this starts back when I started my booktube channel, when I got into reading again back in high school, like 2018, 2017. I don't remember exactly what year. So we have all of that. It was 2017, by the way. But I am making my way. I've been trying to reread some of these books, and that's my thing. If I reread it and don't like it, then unhaul it. But it's a daunting task. So I'm not going to do that today, but I just want to let y'all know that I'm thinking of doing that. I don't know if it's something that I necessarily will actually go through. Sorry, my screen was doing a touch screen thing. So I don't know that's something I'm actually going to do, but I am going to go work on that TBR basket, or that mood reading basket right now. It's 1:22. I read at 3, so I do have a lot of time to spare. Before I watched an episode of Dairy Girls, the first episode of season 2, I rewatched. So I rewatched that while I ate my lunch, which was just some fish fries and hush puppy. Those hush puppies are so good. I wish I knew how to make hush puppies. I've tried. I just need to find the right recipe, I guess. I do have my shark vacuum going right now because it's shedding season. And if you have a dog, really, it's my dog that's part Labrador, Delilah. There's this stuff everywhere, but really my dachshund mix is shedding, my cats are shedding, I'm shedding. But this is the basket here. I got it from the Vermont Country Store, so I can't do this with one hand, like getting it straight or whatever. But this is all about it. And I think it's super interesting that they had the history of New England settlers and how they made these baskets. I don't know, this one, yeah, it actually is American made. I was not expecting that. So I expected it to be like really good quality and everything. And what I've had to use it for, it's worked great. And my cats, they like getting in it, but I'm ruining it for them. So this is my current mood reading basket here. So I'm just going to have this one probably, this was a box that my dad opened and never put it in the recycling. So I think we're just gonna slide this in right here between the basket and the recliner. And yeah, that will fit, that'll fit. And it, like, this was not intentional to have these match, because again, I thought this was a really little basket, like half the size that it is. So we're gonna put this here and then fill it up with books. It's nowhere near how I imagined it, but this is what we're going with. And I think this is gonna be kind of fun because I can't tell what book it is when I'm gonna pull it out. Like, it will just be like, psh, like that. Because on here, obviously I can see the titles. On here, obviously some of them, like in this stock, I can. But I think that's gonna be a lot of fun not knowing what book it is. So through that whole sorting adventure, these are the two that I'm going to unhaul. They were in my mood reading piles, and I got them both in subscription boxes. So they are going to be going in little free libraries near me, and they are signed as well. So this is a thriller, and they're in the first person perspective, which is not my favorite. And then this only has a 3.5 on Goodreads. This one I didn't look at Goodreads, but it's first person romance, and I don't like first person and romance. I have somewhat of a hard time with, and I don't know what the tropes are. So it sounds like the Lizzie McGuire movie, being mistaken for a famous Chinese actress. Like, if y'all know, you know. So we're adding these two to my unhaul pile. I did get back from Target. As you saw, I got a book. I got The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo that I won last week and couldn't get, and I got it 30% off. We had these sprayed edges, these in pages, and I didn't look to see. Okay, there's nothing. It's just a plain book, but this is like a historical fantasy. So a spellbinding novel set in the Spanish Golden Age. Fate can be changed, curses can be broken. And I've unhauled Leigh Bardugo books. I've bought Leigh Bardugo books and still haven't read them 5 years later. So, but this one really calls to me because of the historical setting, and it's such a unique historical setting. So I really want to pick that up. I got this throw blanket because Target is doing throw blankets for the summer, which they've like never done, and y'all know I love my throw blankets and I don't have a summer one. So I picked this like floral hibiscus print up for $10. The book was like $20, I think. Math, you know? And then I did get this plate that has butterflies and flowers and bees all on it, and it was for $3.99 from Threshold. It's like really nice. I don't know what this material is. It just says stoneware, but it did not, like when I scanned it, it didn't have the price ready or whatever, so a guy had to come over and help me. And it didn't have the price on here either, but I remembered from the sign because I wanted the cheaper one that it was $3.99. So he was awesome to help me with the machine and the self-checkout, because I usually don't have problems with that, but today I did. Look how much darker my face is for my body. I am Donald Trump. No, it's because, yeah, I usually have t-shirts on, but yesterday and today I've started to lay out with my bikini top on. I keep my shorts on just because lazy. And I don't have any new bikini bottoms, which I do have old ones, but I probably have to wash them. I just, yeah, the laziness, that's exactly what it is. But I have some pizza cooking, and then I want to wash this before I use it. I'm not going to use it today, but I do need to wash it. Guys, I finally finished my March TBR. It took me long enough, and we will be getting today for one, so let me get my April book out of there. But yeah, we have to review this bad boy that is Winter of the World by Ken Follett. So my 3 words to describe it are informative, long, and emotional. The genre is historical fiction. I am giving it a 4.5. I did the ebook. This book was published in 2012. So I started this book on March 25th and finished it on the 17th of April. Okay, so let's go into my thoughts on all the different things in the Call Pal system. So for characters, definitely a 5-star. I think I said in my last vlog that Lloyd and Daisy were my favorite characters, but all of the characters in this are so well developed, and you go on journeys with these people. And we were with their parents in the first book, so I do already on the next book, so can't wait to meet their kids. I got this at the indie bookstore. I got it used and it was $7.97, which for this, I don't even want to know how much I would cost in Barnes & Noble nowadays. No, I don't want to know. It'd be so much. But this one is Barnes & Noble. So yeah, none of my copies match, but it's okay. But we're talking about characters. We have characters from literally all different nationalities, that being American, English, German and Austrian, Russian, Spanish, and Welsh. I'm glad the Welsh were separated from the English, because at first I was like, that's kind of controversial, but I think Ken Follett himself is Welsh. So we just follow people from all, and I love that we're following just normal people. Some of them do get higher up jobs as we are in war. All these men are at war, so they are, when you're in the military, you know, you go up. Probably not everybody, but in this they are. But I like that these are pretty much your average everyday people, and we're seeing them in one of the biggest conflicts, if not the biggest conflict ever. And this is World War II, by the way. And then atmosphere, again, that gets a 5 stars. As I said, we are a ton of different places. The story starts in Germany, yeah, in Berlin, and ends in Kazakhstan. So that is quite the big difference. You go all over the world in this book. The Western world, Russia, and I know USSR, some of that's East. So, but we're predominantly in the Western world in this. Oh, and we do have the Pacific front of the war. So, but 4 our characters are all from the West, which I would have liked to see maybe some different settings, like maybe Scandinavia, Italy, and yeah, what was happening in like Kazakhstan and like Mongolia and all that? What was happening there during the world wars? I know like all the Nazis went to Argentina, so for South America. And I know there was a lot of patrolling waters and U-boats and all in the South America. And then I know in Africa you have the Sahara, that part of the war. I do have my grandmother's uncle was in that part of the war. She had somebody in like every part of the war, but I did have family in the Sahara, that thing. So we didn't see that featured in here. So yeah, there are some things that maybe I wanted, but as it was, I do think it was pretty great. The writing I am giving a 4-star to, just because I think there were pacing issues, definitely. There was just, the end was very fast paced, and I think it went too fast, because I still don't know why America and Russia hate each other. I know even today we hate each other, and I'm like, I don't get what sparked that. Because we're like, oh yeah, Russia, they got Hitler to off himself and all of that. They were the ones to break Germany in World War II. So what happened to make America and Russia hate each other? So in the comments, explain it to me like I'm 5, and I'd very much appreciate it. And then plot, I'm giving a 5-star. There was just so much. I learned so much. I do know this is historical fiction, so probably a lot of it was different than what it really was. But when I read historical fiction, it always makes me go out and research that actual topic. Like the Spanish Civil War is the main one that I keep talking about with this. I knew zero, and now I know, like, okay, it was because of fascism rising in Europe, and we just wanted to get that under control. So I did learn a ton. But intrigue, I am giving a 4, because this book was just not as good as the first book, and I think that ultimately probably does fall on the atmosphere, because the first book is taking place in the first part of the 20th century, which is my favorite time to learn about, my favorite setting for a story, my favorite time personally to write about. And so this one did not live up to that as much. And also World War II is a topic we see so much in fiction that it can be overdone, but I do think there were a lot of interesting and new, unique storylines brought up. Yeah, I know nothing about East Germany either. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know all of that, so I think that we'll definitely see more of that in the next book. And then logic, a 5, because as I said, so informative. And then my overall enjoyment, I give it a 4 because the first book was a 5. And as I said, I do not think this was as good as the first book. So this is again a 4.5 for me, which is still a fantastic book. Definitely recommend it. So my next TBR pick, starting my April TBR, is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I am focusing on reading classics in the month of April, but we will talk more about the plot of this tomorrow. Oh, and the bookmark I used for the book I just finished is this one I got at Barnes & Noble for having a MasterCard, I guess. Hey guys, it is Thursday, so I started Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass today, and I just finished Alice in Wonderland, but I still have, because my version, the Penguin Classic version, has both stories in the same bind up. So I just finished Alice in Wonderland, and I'm not going to go into what that's about because it's been published for like 150 something, 160 something years, so if you don't know, I am sorry. But Disney did a great job at doing an adaptation, because I was just like, I remember this from the movie. I've seen the original like 1951 animated movie. I have a Cheshire Cat somewhere around me, but I've seen that one, and then I saw the 2010, I think it's Tim Burton who does it, but there's an actor, Johnny Depp, who I don't like in that movie, so I don't really want to promote it. And it wasn't, for me, that movie, I didn't love it when I saw it. But as I was saying, I saw it in the theaters back when it came out in 2010. It does have a good soundtrack though. I like the Avril Lavigne song, I found myself in Wonderland. I like that. But let's talk about the book. And hold on, I'm doing a puzzle and I think this piece nope, it doesn't go right there. Okay, I started a new puzzle. This one. And also I finished my Star Wars puzzle. But I do want to go into my notes on Alice in Wonderland and tell y'all what I'm thinking. I am doing the ebook, as y'all saw, so my annotations. There are a lot of quotes because I always highlight the popular quotes. The first one is, "For you see, so many out-of-the-way things have begun lately that Alice had begun to think that very few things, indeed, were really impossible," which is true. I feel like everything is possible in this world, even if we think it's impossible. I feel like anything could happen. I don't know, we're all mad here. And then she generally gave herself very good advice, though she generally gave herself very good advice, though she very seldom followed it. That was a popular quote. And on page 10 at the end of chapter 1, I left a note saying, "Well, we are thrown right into this story, but I guess since this is a children's book, it's to keep their attention, so let me explain that more." So instantly, the first scene is Alice falling into the rabbit hole or following the rabbit, you know, all of that. And we're thrown right into Wonderland, which I'm like, wow, no build up. Like on the first page, we're falling into the rabbit hole. But this is originally, I would say this is more of a middle grade book. I think Amazon said for ages 9 to 12. I'm trying to think if I've had versions of this book throughout my life. I don't know if my 9 to 12-year-old self would be interested in this. You know, I talked about before, I was into a lot of paranormal books at that time. Shivers, Ghost, no. But I think it's really because kids, they show up for the thing. They're like, we're here for Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, so we're going right into it. And I guess the kids in 1862 were the same as kids in 2024. And then this was another popular highlight. So, "Dear, dear, how queer everything is today. And yesterday went on just as usual. I wonder if I've changed in the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember by feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I?" Oh, that's a great puzzle. And then my next note was on page 16 after chapter 2 is these parts. So her talking to some of the creatures that are within Wonderland. They're usually animals. I think they're cute and funny. I think the dialogue has made me laugh. And yeah, that's always good when a book can actually bring out laughing, crying, whatever. I haven't cried, but I wasn't expecting to cry. And then I was curious if this book is where we get the term going down a rabbit hole, or was that term already a thing by the time this book was published? I am not sure. Something that I will definitely have to research. And then another popular quote was, "Who are you?" said the caterpillar. This was not an encouraging opening for a conversation. Alice replied rather shyly, I hardly know, sir. Just at present, at least I know who I was when I got up this morning, but I think I must have been changed several times since then." Yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, yeah, she's been through a lot in that day. And then the Cheshire Cat, he made his appearance, one of my favorite characters. As I said, I have a Funko Pop that I think Sarah got me. It's somewhere on one of these shelves, but I have a lot of shelves that Sarah got me. Oh, I see him. Let me get him actually. Oh, my friend got me this one. So this is Pop with a Purpose. So I think, yeah, Make-A-Wish. So it was for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So in honor and celebration of World Witch Day 2021, and as part for our Pops with a Purpose program, Funko has donated $150,000 to Make-A-Wish, an organization that creates life-changing wishes for children with critical illness. So a great cause. And as I said, I love the Cheshire Cat. I have another Funko Pop of him as well, but it's in another room. But my friend Sarah got me this, so yeah, she knows I love that guy. So I had to make a note of the page he showed up on, which was 41. And then another popular, we had 3 popular quotes here in a row. Would you tell me which way I ought to go from here? That depends a good deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat, so long as I get somewhere, Alice added as an explanation. Oh, you're sure to do that, said the cat, if you only walk long enough. And then our next one, oh, you can't help that, said the cat. We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad. How do you know I'm mad, said Alice. You must be, said the cat, or you wouldn't have come here. And that made me randomly think, I was like, were all these animals humans once, and they all have been in Wonderland for so long that it made them turn into animals? Or what if they are humans and she's seeing them as animals? There's a lot that I'm thinking about, and I am sure, I mean, as I said, this book has been published for like 160 something years, I think 162. There has to be tons of theories. And then the next popular quote was, well, I've often seen a cat without a grin, thought Alice, but a grin without a cat, it's the most curious thing I ever saw in my life. Yeah, I can see that scene in my head. And then here's my note. This is the OG Fever Dream book. This chapter, the one with the Mad Hatter, is basically how I feel about this book. How she's so confused now. I'm like, I am so confused reading this book. What is happening? And then I can definitely see the inspiration that had on a lot of those weird girl books that are out today. Such as Bunny by Mona Awad. Definitely can. I know that book was inspired by this one for a fact, but it's so definitely can see it. So I wonder if I would have liked Bunny more if I had read Alice in Wonderland before reading Bunny, because Bunny was a book I unhauled. It was just too out there for me. So then I highlighted Flamingo because the cover of the version I have has flamingos on it. And then another popular quote here is, simply never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others. That what you were or might have been was not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them by our other side. To be otherwise. So I do think that is a good quote. It's hard to say out loud, but it's a good quote. And then there was another one. There's a reason they're called lessons, said the Gryphon remarked, because they lessen from day to day, and my battery is dying, so I will check in with y'all later. I have no idea what this camera angle is going to be like as y'all are on the tripod because I was filming something for an ASMR video. Oh yeah, y'all know because I did the Alice in Wonderland update. But I am now over halfway into The Everlasting by Katie Simpson Smith. This is going to be such a fun one to do call pal. I want to see what I'm going to rate it because I have no idea at this point. So we've seen all the character point of views that we're going to get in the story. And then the lighting's like on half my face. Like, where do I need to stand? Like right here? Okay, I think right there is good. So I do want to talk about that quote in a minute. So I'm back on the 2015 plotline. My favorite one has definitely been the Paradise one, which is the one set in the 2nd century in 165, and that is about a young Christian child martyr, because this is when Christianity was first really getting into Rome and just the early days of Christianity, and that is a time period that I'm kind of fascinated by. I don't know what I'm fascinated by, but it's one that I haven't really read anything about, and I really enjoy reading about the ancient world and want to know more about it and would like more books that take place during that time. So that Priska, I guess is how you say her name, has been my favorite of the characters. And then the other characters I have no strong feelings towards whatsoever. The Medici one kind of annoyed me. I'm gonna be honest, there kind of annoyed me. And then we have Satan, Lucifer, that guy. I probably shouldn't be saying his name, I don't know. But he is, I don't even want to say a character. I think that is unnecessary to the story, having him. And he'll just come in at random points and be talking like in parentheses. And I'm like, what? Like, at first I didn't even realize that that is who that was supposed to be. I was just like, what is happening? Like, I thought it was just part of the text. And so I think it's very unnecessary to the story, and I don't like it. Atmosphere, 5 out of 5 in the atmosphere category. I am loving that part, seeing Rome and all these different areas, because as I was talking about earlier in the vlog, there is so much history in that one place. And we are gonna, let's actually go to a not a screenshot, but a picture I took of the page, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna unhaul this, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but I would like to have this page. So the 2015 guy is some kind of scientist. Was it biologist? I don't remember. I told y'all earlier in the vlog, but he studies like those bugs that are like from 1 million years ago. So they're talking about humans are change. Do I just read this whole page to y'all? The crow gave up, flopped bitterly away. The child lay down like a starfish. A jogger went tumbling into the gravel, and the jogger behind her sidestepped, cautious pony-like, but the fallen one waved a hand. Pretend you didn't see this. No one would have to save anyone else today. Do you think there's an essence all this can be stripped back to? Okay, this is where it starts. He was still rolling the ball of his new theory around the empty rooms of his head. A part, for instance. Removed a villa and non-native species and jogging paths to return to an unaffected state. Unaffected by what? By change? By humans, say. Humans are change. Once you take humans away, you've got to remove mammals, and then vertebrates, and then whatever's not, like a colossal Jurassic fern, and then you're back to stardust. He nodded the ball and was picking up speed. So the study of adaptation, yeah, say, take history. Everyone gets their panties in a bunch when they stumble on a new ruin. Oh look, Nero's pleasure palace. And we walk on tiptoes till it's preserved. What if ancient architecture is so special? Why don't we tear down all the Renaissance palazzi anyway? You know who saved most of the stuff? Mussolini. So maybe preservation is conservatism is fascism. So then we're gonna skip a little bit. People are nuts for excavations, and when do you stop digging? Below the form, there's probably Stone Age megaliths. Why don't we trash the form? Because the layers themselves aren't as interesting as the facts that there are layers. And that's crazy. When I went to the Camden Revolutionary War Park, I talked with a man who worked there about this. He went to Rome, and he said like under the floors you just see all these different eras. And because we were talking about a lot of the foundations of buildings from the 1700s are underground now. We're like, how does that even happen? And it says you build and you build and you build, and it's crazy. I never thought of what's under Rome. Things from the Stone Age, I never thought about that. So yeah, the writing is still my complaint. This is very much overwritten, and I am skimming everything except the like 2nd century plotline. And then, but I do think audiobook could have really enhanced this reading experience. So that's why if I ever do reread this, I'm definitely going to do the audiobook. And then plot is a 5 out of 5. As I was just talking about, all the history, how everything is connected, and it just amazes me so much how there is so much history in this world. There's so much we don't know about this world. Something that I would have done if I wrote this book, because this is a plot line I have been wanting for so long, connecting thousands of years of history, and how, yeah, that's something I have just been wanting. And I know there's tons of books that do it, but this book is just doing it in the way that I want it done. By they're all, it's not like, because if you read Missioner Rutherford, the one that starts with an R, you're following that whole timeline. There's not really skips. So I like that this is all like basically 700 years apart each time. But I would have probably included something from the Stone Age before the Roman Empire, like the Etruscans or something, and then I would have added a timeline that's in the future past us. I think those would have been very interesting pieces to add to this story. But this is where I'm going to be ending the vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it through this whole video, leave any kind of water emoji in the comments below. And as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.